Hi, welcome to my channel Intuitive Fortune. My name is Yael. Today I want to share with you fascinating information about a vision board, how to build it, what might have been wrong in the way you were building it, and I'm going to focus specifically the topic of love, partnership, the way we treat ourselves, our self-identity, and how to represent that in the vision board. Why sometimes vision boards work, why they don't, and how our house can be our own vision board. I'm drawing a lot from Feng Shui, from numerology, and from my personal experience. So let's start. I don't know if you ever had this experience of putting something in your room and automatically feeling more at peace, more in harmony in the room, and it just was a simple change. Only lately, I did the same thing in my bedroom. I didn't even realize that my bedroom was in the southwest corner of my apartment. I wasn't aware of the directions. And only after I came home one day from a drawing class, I took a figure drawing class. It's like a club in which we draw sometimes clothed people and sometimes naked people. I drew a naked woman in a red pencil since I didn't like my regular pencil in that specific class. I came home, I put it on the wall, and automatically when I came into the room, I was soothed. I felt that energy of my drawing of the woman coming and bringing romance into my life and opening me up to pleasure again, to softness, to beauty. And I thought, let's look into this. And so I opened a huge Pandora box of what is correct to put in our bedroom, and also what we should put the same energy, the same way in our vision board to attract love, romance, balanced partnership, and how we should be in that partnership. So the area of love and partnership is considered to be the southwest section of a home, or the southwest section of your vision board. Now, to better understand Feng Shui, I want to pause and give a moment to talk about the Bagua map. It's called the Bagua map. It's a map that is divided into 9 areas, 9 little squares, and all together they represent our areas of our life. Now, I love to introduce that into Kabbalah because Kabbalah also uses the idea of 9. We have the 9 numbers up until 10. Actually, in numerology, in Kabbalistic numerology, we treat the numbers up until 7, and 8 and 9 are already beyond the nature. It's supernatural. And so I liked to see that in the Bagua map, we are seeing different energies that bring us to the higher energy. The highest energy in the Bagua map is fame, is personal fame, is recognition, represented by the element of fire. And we're moving to that fire through starting with water. And so also in Kabbalah, we're learning that everything starts with water. It's our life force. It's where life wants to flow to. When we feel full of water, of emotion, of excitement, that's where we should be. So water is the starting point. And that is the reason, by the way, why in Feng Shui, we are also encouraged to put water fountains or water elements near our front door. I know I'm going all over the place, but I promise it will come into a very cohesive message. The cohesive message is about partnership in your vision board and in your life, in your bedroom, or wherever the southwest corner of your house falls in. So we have the Bagua map. And the Bagua map represents energies, personal energies, and the energies of the house. And we also can take the Bagua map and build a vision board. How wonderful, right? Because sometimes when we build a vision board, we think, oh, I'll just put this and this. This looks cool. You know, I want to be on a yacht one day and I want to have this kind of office. But we place things in placements that have no order. And sometimes we can put it on a vision board and then attract it to our life by just say visiting the house. Maybe it's not my house, for example, but by using things in placements where we understand what it means, we can also use the vision board to build our own understanding of oneself, what we treat as our fun part, what we treat as our wisdom area, and what we want to experience, let's say, in our partnership or in our career. And so we are starting in our vision board and in our Bagua map in the bottom. Okay, the bottom is the north. It's kind of confusing, but stay with me. The north is the bottom, the south is the top. We're starting in the bottom. The bottom represents the areas that are our foundation, and they're usually connected to the metal or water elements. But the idea is that we need to stand on top of something. There are energy steps to bring us forward, and one of the most top parts of the Bagua map is partnership. So we're not starting with partnership. We're starting with areas that help us grow. And one of the areas, for example, are helpful people and travel. Okay, so that would be our basic level, let's say. And these would be people that encouraged us in life, the special individual that came into our life and influenced it for the better, people that we really cherish. We also have our wisdom part, the place where we look inside of ourselves, meditate, connect to ourselves. All of these are foundations. And moving forward is our self, our whole self. That is the center of the Bagua map. It's colored yellow. And when we start with our vision board or start even with our home, we go to the center. The center of our house and the center of our vision board is us, is the sun, is the bright being, which is us, the pulsating life force that brings everything to the other areas. And so this is ourself. And if we're building a vision board, we want to put a picture of ourselves there where we're happy, it's current, and it's representative of ourselves. I'm not going to go over all the 9 areas because it's a lot of information and can be too much. I just want to share about the partnership, and I can't do that without going to this step, to the personal self. So you decided you want to bring change into your life. You put yourself in the middle, and hopefully you know a lot about yourself. You know your astrological sign, you know your loves, you know your life path number, you know your name. All of these things is your energy signature. And part of this is also knowing what kind of year you're stepping into. So let's say you're knowing all of that, you're knowing what kind of things you want to change in your life, and you have this idea to build a vision board. Okay, so hopefully you know a lot of information about yourself, and let's transition to the personal relationship sector. Now, the personal relationship, love and romance area is also connected to the way we treat ourselves. And because of that, it's very much linked to the center. It's the center that knows itself, but it's also the center that knows what to give oneself in order to balance oneself. So what I found so interesting in this, and it ties really beautifully to what I personally study in life, is that the relationship area in Feng Shui, in the vision boards, all of that is considered to be the mother. The mother is the energy of the bedroom, of the southwest corner of your house, and of your top right section of your vision board. Now I'm going with classical directions. This also has nuances where we can also figure out your own direction, your own success direction, but I'm going with the classical directions for the purpose of teaching. So because it's the mother, it has to have a soft corresponding energy, and it's also connected to the number 2. So in the Bagua map, we have the different cubes, the different squares, but the numbers are kind of going from place to place. So number 2 would be the section of love and partnership, and it's the mother. Now the mother is also not only soft, but it's important what kind of colors we use to put images in our vision board and in our life. So we want to gravitate towards pink, soft reds, beige, very natural, soothing. Even though red is not so soothing, but finding that reddish, brownish, earth tone terracotta, that kind of place that feels very like a hug, like warm and friendly, but not too hot. So when we know that information, we already know that in our vision board, in the section of love and partnership, we don't want to put things that are too metal-like, that are too shiny, that are too black, that are too dramatic, because we don't want to encourage drama in our relationship. Now, I failed in that too, because I put a lot of very exciting things that I wanted to achieve in the relationship, and like high rises and, very extreme experiences, but actually we want to come to a very warm and soft place there, and incorporate images and symbols that are with 2 things. For example, 2 birds, 2 candles, 2 symbols that speak to you. It could be even 2 mountains, but they shouldn't be too high or too separate from each other. So let's say 2 mountains that are not too tall, or 2 flowers, or 2 birds, whatever speaks to you as a symbol of 2 equals or 2 energies that complement each other. In addition to that, not only is the 2 or the partnership important for this section, but also the idea of self-identity and what we want to incorporate in our self-help or self-love routine. Because when we give ourselves that, we know that that automatically supports the partnership. So what we do in our life to fill in our cup in order for the partnership to be successful. For example, for me, I love writing, and I love writing affirmations. And so in my vision board, in that section, I will put a picture or writing that reminds me of my writing, reminds me of a cup of tea, of a bubble bath that I want to take, soft things that are showing of nourishment and of self-replenishment in order to bring the relationship to success, because we want to look at our side of the coin, how we can support the partnership as best as we can. Now, interestingly enough, if we look at the Bagua map and the right pillar, so if on the top we have love and partnership, in the middle we have, middle right, we have children and renewal and creativity, and on the bottom we have the father energy, which is travel and helpful people, influential people in some way. So it's almost like the family line is on the right. We have also family and ancestors on the left, but in the personal and smaller representation of things, we're looking at the right. So the energy is close, it's not grandiose, it's very, very personal. So I want to also tie this cube, the square of the number 2, love and partnership in Feng Shui, your vision board, and in your house. So if we know this information, what we should put in our vision board, we can use the same thing in our house and in our energy. So if you have a compass in your phone, I want you to open it up and look in your apartment. Where is southwest falling in your apartment? The southwest corner of your house. Now, if in that southwest corner there is nothing that represents what I already introduced you to, I highly recommend you to put a symbol there that could fit to the room, but also fit to what you want to feel in your partnership. That softness, the earth element, the warm red, pinkish terracotta colors. And now a word about how it ties into Kabbalah. So we all know that the biggest mission we have in life, the biggest task, is to get along between men and women. A man and a woman living in a house together and having peace between them is considered to be the most advanced outcome that we can come to. I'm not talking about a great partnership and dating. I'm talking about building a life together and living in peace and harmony. And so that is one reason why going there in your vision board in the beginning is super important. Another thing that I want to tie into Kabbalah and numerology through Feng Shui is the number 2. So I lately got into numerology, like completely. I studied a lot, okay? And 2 is a very interesting number. Also, it ties into tarot, but 2 is a number of emotion. And not only emotion, it's the number that brings the 2 polarities together, because we start with one, an energy, God, okay? The oneness of everything, the start of creation, and then creation divides into 2, and we start, okay? And we start that creativity, but when we're divided into 2, the number 2, there is heaven and earth, and for heaven and earth to come together, there must be some sort of attraction. So 2 comes and teaches us about attracting each other and attracting each other through softness. Because how do we want to be attracted to something? With an invitation, with something that lures us in a nice way that feels warm and safe to us. So that's why people with a life path 2 are recommended to, be very diplomatic with how they speak. They are already inclined to have very soft communication. They're very good with their words and how to approach things. They want to even up a lot of arguments, and a lot of diplomats and presidents and politicians or public speakers have life paths number 2. But we can bring it to us and to the vision board and to our life and partnership by understanding that the secret of 2 and the secret of making 2 work is speech, soft speech, inviting speech, and also what number 2 is about. The way to attract the other is through that self-appreciation, that self-love, and giving oneself what we need without needing the other person to give it to us. So for example, if for you it's to go to a yoga class in the morning, meditate, or make yourself a nice breakfast, pay attention to how you present your food, whatever the self-help or the self-love means to you, that is the secret to attract a person to you, because you're already giving yourself that thing that you really, really need. So I'm starting to wrap this up. I want to encourage you to build a vision board, or to start building a vision board, or start thinking about it. We're heading towards a new year, but it doesn't need to be a new year. You can do it at any point in your life where you're attracted to do so. And specifically, focusing on the love and partnership section. I'm going to do a more in-depth analysis of the other sections in the map and how to build your vision board. But I wanted to start here. Because there is something so loving and attractive when we have that part in us kind of more clear then all the other parts are a little bit more lovely too. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to work with me, just email me at intuitivefortune@gmail.com. I'll be happy to give you guidance, to give you some readings, or whatever you need in your life. Thank you so much. Bye.